The Minnesota Vikings opened the practice window today for Justin Jefferson to come off injured reserve. However, the Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell said it would be, in his words, a little aggressive to think that Jefferson could be out there on Sunday against the New Orleans Saints. Sounds like he's another week or so away from being back on the football field, but the fact that they opened the window, an encouraging sign for the surging Vikings. And Deebo Samuel, the 49ers wide receiver, who's been dealing with a hairline fracture in his shoulder, has returned to practice, and he is expected to play Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The 49ers have missed his offensive production. He will be back out on the football field. However, there still is a question about their offensive tackle, Trent Williams, who did not practice today. And one other 49ers note, their defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks, is moving from the coaching booth down to the field for Sunday's game against Jacksonville.
Okay, that's interesting. Also, good news on Deebo Samuel. Adam, you're with us all show long. We'll get back to those 49ers injuries in just a minute. But first, as we dive into the fatal flaws for the top teams in the league, a look at the best chance to win the Super Bowl. These are the teams we're going to talk about for the next hour. The Chiefs at 1 with the best chance to win. Eagles at 2, Ravens at 3, and then despite losing the last 3 games, the 49ers still have a 14% chance to win the Super Bowl, according to ESPN Analytics. So we've seen how dangerous the Niners offense is when they're healthy, especially with Deebo Samuel, who Adam just told us is going to return. He's missed a majority of the last 3 games. With Samuel on the field, though, Brock Purdy has posted an 82 QBR while throwing 8 touchdowns without a single interception. He's averaged over 9 yards per pass attempt, which leads the NFL. So, Marcus, that's the good news. But what about the fatal flaw for the 49ers? Because that is our theme of the day. What should we look at there?
Yep, Paul Bunyan reporting live to NFL Live with this ugly shirt on.
Why'd you put it on if it was ugly?
Because it's fly when you see it in person. It's not fly on TV. Anyway, let me get to it.
Glad we cleared that up.
It's the health. It's the health. Obviously, like you just showed the production, Boogie. But beyond the production, the comfortability that Brock Purdy has in the pocket when Deebo Samuel is out. We see Trent Williams still questionable if he'll be back soon enough. And when you look at this game going to 3, you look at this team going a 3-game slide, missing both of these guys, there is nothing more telling than that. It's offensive operation. Especially with Deebo, it's offensive operation. It's the way teams have to defend you and the attention that you have to give to the entire football field when he's not available. Brandon Ayuk has stepped up and Christian McCaffrey is there. We know about the talent. But Deebo Samuel is the guy that makes defenses play you completely different from every position that he lines up in. So health is their biggest issue.
I like that, Marcus. I'm going to go with their third down defense, getting off the field. Kyle Shanahan talked about how their defense looks tired. They look like they lack energy. And the reason for that is they haven't been able to get teams off the field. They're 21st in opponent conversion rate, and they're 4th worst in the league at time of possession. Their defense is out there too long. Now, there's a couple of factors that play into that. Chase Young being there will absolutely help that. Sure. But for Steve Wilks, he's adopted this scheme. You heard from Adam Schefter say he's going to get out of the booth, get on the sideline. They're used to having D'Amico Ryans on the sideline, Robert Saleh chest bumping, high-fiving. It's been tough for them to kind of build that chemistry and sync, especially on third down with the blitzes, the way they pressure, and also just natural coverage.
So I agree with Marcus with the health stuff. Obviously, Trent Williams, one of the best left tackles in football. Deebo Samuel, the yards after the catch. I'll go to your third down defense and take it to another step. I think their nickel coverage has to be a little bit of a concern because when we offensive people watch tape and we watch coverages, it's always trying to find not only the way to attack a coverage, but who can we go after? And I think if you watch Cincinnati from 2 weeks ago, you're like, oh, Cincinnati made a very clear effort. If you're going to play man coverage, we're going to attack that nickel defender. So who's going to be that third cover corner? And then when teams got out in base defense, we rave about San Francisco's 21 personnel, 2 backs and 1 tight end. So when teams got into that base defense, meaning they're playing like 7 bigs, whether it's 5 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers or 3 defensive linemen and 4 linebackers, teams that can play in their base defense versus that 21 personnel and stop both the run and the pass plan-wise, and I think about it. Cincinnati did it, but in the NFC, I would say Dallas is capable of it. I would say Philadelphia is absolutely capable of it. We just saw them do it against Miami 2 weeks ago. So they're going to have to figure out the counter to teams who want to play base defense.
Dan, you make a great point, and to your point, it ties in to what Hawk said about the pass rush, and the reason why they've been so comfortable playing bases because they know Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner are phenomenal in coverage as linebackers, and you don't have to change personnel much, especially when they use his own pressures. The issue has been the pass rush has not been the same, and it's a correlation between all of the things you just talked about with coverage as well. We always talk about how it ties in, but when you look at the production of this San Francisco 49ers defensive line, and I'm not just talking about sacks, I'm talking about pressures, especially from the interior, it has not been the same this year. I think if they get that fixed, obviously with Chase Young coming along, all of those things you just talked about will improve.
Yeah, during their 3-game losing streak, the 49ers have allowed the highest completion percentage in the NFL. They have the Jaguars this week, so we'll see if they can get that turned around. I know, right? They don't usually do that, especially with that defense.